The IRS is expecting to not collect over $500 billion from tax cheaters this year. Welcome back to Strongman Personal Finance. Do you remember when I made a couple videos talking about how if you wanted to solve the debt crisis with the federal government, where we spend more than we take in tax revenue, you should do it from two different approaches. You should increase legitimate collections via the IRS by expanding the IRS and increasing audits. And you should also focus on spending less in the government overall. And with those two avenues combined, you could probably significantly reduce the deficit and shore up America's government finances for the long run. But you know what these morons in the administration have decided to do? Do you know what their genius idea was? Oh, we're gonna gut the IRS. We're gonna make them stop doing audits because they don't have the freaking manpower anymore. We're gonna do that, and then we're gonna cut taxes on top of that. And it's recently come out that the IRS is literally expecting to receive $500 billion less in collections. Because people now, they know what's going on. People aren't stupid, especially business owners. They know that they can just put whatever they want on their tax returns, and they're probably not going to get audited. And guess what? They're right. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, if you're a W-2 worker, you have a normal job, you're a little wagey like me, and you've got some stocks that get reported on a 1099, all of that information gets reported directly to the IRS. So as a normal wagey, you really can't, save that much money on your taxes. Basically, what you make is reported and you got to pay tax on it because the IRS gets a copy. However, business owners have significant advantages. Number one, they can deduct ordinary and necessary business expenses, which is perfectly legal and perfectly fine. But they also have the advantage of being able to hide income and to be able to pad their expenses. It's actually fairly easy to hide your income, okay? Did you know that if you receive transactions, money through PayPal or Venmo or Cash App or Zelle, only the amounts that are marked as business transactions are reportable on Form 1099-K. That's right. So if somebody sends you money on Venmo and they don't mark it as a business transaction, when Venmo generates their 1099-K to report to the government, they don't include that amount on there. When you get money from Zelle, when you get paid through Zelle, that's not reported by the interbanking system to the IRS. So what these little scumbags can do is they can just get paid primarily through Zelle, and literally nobody can track it. It is not reported to the IRS. So when you do your tax return, you can just not put the money you receive from Zelle. Now, I'm not saying to do this because no matter what, if you receive money for goods or services, it's reportable and taxable. You have to do that. But people are rightly guessing that if they kind of cheat the system a little bit and, collect money that isn't reportable or just collecting cash, you can just get paid in cash, then guess what? You're not going to get taxed on it. And the only way you're going to get caught is if the government audits you. Do you understand? And it's the same thing on the expense side of the house. So you can underreport your revenue, which deflates your profits, and you can over-report your expenses. You could say, hey, I didn't spend any money on meals this year, but you know what? I'm just going to put $5,000 of meals expense on my tax return. I didn't drive any miles for business. I used my POV, but I didn't drive any miles for business. But you know what? I'm going to say that I drove 2,000 miles for business. I'm just going to put that on my taxes. Oh yeah, office supplies. Yeah, I only spend about $300, but I'm going to put $1,000 on there. So what people can do is they can massively overstate their expenses. So when you combine understated revenue and overstated expenses, your profit as a business owner on your tax return is a lot lower. And the only way they're gonna know, the IRS is gonna know, is if they audit you and go through all of your records. You absolute clowns who support the gutting of the IRS are morons, because you just want to save your money on taxes. You just want to commit fraud. That's all you want to do. You don't care. You're evil. You're not a good person. You just want to commit fraud, and you don't care if the government collects way less in taxes, and if the government has to issue more debt and run massive deficits. Oh, that's not my problem. Do you not see the massive problem this is going to do with our government finances? Not only is DOGE really not cutting that much, because there's only so much they can cut. They can't cut Social Security and Medicare, you morons. Most of the spending is mandatory. It's required. It's a permanent law. They can't cut anything except a couple of DEI contracts, which are not going to materially impact the budget deficit. So they're not cutting anything. And now they're collecting a lot less revenue. And now we're going to potentially cut taxes. The government's deficits are going to explode. You absolute clown morons, okay? And of course, Trump's genius idea is, oh, we're going to have tariffs, beautiful tariffs. Well, guess what? Well, I'll cover this in another video. But of course, he freaking rolls back the tariffs. That's why the stock market vertical line today. He's going to roll back tariffs. Where's the money coming from? Huh? Where's the money coming from that's going to reduce the deficit? Where are the expenses that are going to reduce the deficit? All I see is that we're exploding the deficit even more. You absolute clowns. This is unbelievable. $500 billion. That is $500 billion. Because people just don't care anymore. I mean, you might as well just be a fraud, bro. There's no consequences. Just deduct everything on your taxes, bro. You get your nails done, just deduct it. Whatever you want. So what do you guys think? Do you think I'm just like sounding alarm? Do you think I'm just like a liberal communist because I believe you should like accurately report your taxes? Does that make me a Democrat soy boy communist? Am I a loser because we're only gonna explode the deficit that we're supposedly trying to cut, and I think that's a bad thing? And do I think people should pay their taxes? You know, like normal W-2 earners, they can't hide. They can't hide anything. What are they going to hide? Nothing. Whereas a business owner can easily hide at revenue and massively underreport their profits. Anyway, what do y'all think? Do you think this is stupid? Do you think we should enhance the IRS? Or do you think that's just bad because it's government overreach? I don't want to pay the taxes. It's not fair. Why is the deficit going up? Anyway, like, subscribe, check out the pinned comment, book a free 30-minute tax consultation. I am a certified public accountant. I will do your business and or personal taxes any state in the United States. You can talk to me for free. I give you upfront quotes, and I'll prepare your taxes legitimately like a boss. Cheers.